Sheweet, do you have a few minutes afterwards to chat about the cohort?
Give me 1 second. Let me check the schedule. Actually, yes. I do.
Okay, I'm presuming that we're not going to go an hour. I've got another meeting, but I do want to chat for a minute.
Okay, works for me.
All right, thanks.
Welcome, everyone. It is noon. I'm going to give it 1 to 2 more minutes to see if anyone else pops in. So hang tight for a little bit. We'll start momentarily. All righty, I think we can get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sheweet Yohannes. I'm the Assistant Dean and Adjunct Professor in Business Innovation Technology. I'm here with Dr. Judith Lee, the Department Chair for Business Technology Innovation and Program Chair for Business Analytics, along with Mike Wu, who is the Enrollment, I believe, Assistant Director. And let's begin. Let's see. Next. All right, so fast facts. A lot of people want to know, yes, it is a STEM degree. So for international students, you'll have a little bit more OPT. And for veteran students, I believe you may be able to extend your GI Bill. Students have diverse educational backgrounds. We have this here because people ask, do you need to have a coding background? Do you need to have a computer IT background? And it's great. It does help, but not necessarily. It's not necessary. For example, I actually went through the program, and my background is, my undergrad is in international business. And we have others who have come from other programs as well, but they do quite well, but you have to be comfortable with mathematics. We do say that, at least. And any, prior programming knowledge will be helpful, especially R, Python, and SQL. How long does the program take? As little as 1.25 years, but normally 1.5 to 2 years, depending on the person's schedule. 1.25 years is about 3 courses per term, full-time, meaning 4 terms. And full-time is 3 courses. You are able to take 4 courses a term, but that is only if you have been approved by the program director, showing that you do well by taking 3 courses and getting A's. And so we have a trimester schedule. What does that mean? 3 terms a year with 15-week terms. There's about a 1 to 2 week break in between each term, depending on the term. For example, in December, there's a longer break than there is in the summer. Practitioner-based learning environment. What does that mean? So we have a lot of adjunct professors, not necessarily tenured professors. And our adjunct professors are basically people who do this during the day in the real world. They practice this. They are practitioners. And then in the evenings, they teach at Golden Gate University. So you're getting the up-to-date information, what is being used in the moment in the industry, while at the same time getting the theoretical and hands-on knowledge. So how can you take this degree? You can take it purely online if desired, or you can do it in person. Now, online would be asynchronous or synchronous, meaning purely online with no meetups, and synchronous, you can have a Zoom meetup. And of course, in person would be an in-person meetup. But right now during COVID, they are Zoom meetups. And the classes usually start at 6:50 p.m. Pacific, sometimes 4 p.m. Pacific. And if you're lucky, sometimes you have a 4 p.m. and a 6 p.m. or 6:50 p.m. in the same day. And that's 2 courses knocked out in one day. And you do meet once a week for about 2 hours and 40 minutes per week. Where are we? We are downtown San Francisco, a 3-minute walk from the local metro and bus stops. We have Muni, we have BART, which is the metro. We have our buses, we have the tram, we have everything here. Very, very close by. We are actually across the street from the Salesforce Tower and maybe 2 blocks from LinkedIn. Our graduates, where do they work? Oracle, Salesforce, Tesla, GitHub, Endless Tech, First Republic Bank, to name a few. And we're still capturing more information as they graduate. And last but not least, there is field research required to graduate. That is part of the capstone, with which Dr. Lee will discuss in just a moment. Dr. Lee?
Okay, thank you, Sheweet. So just to recap a little bit, I'm the department chair for business and innovation. And this is the analytics degree is a master's of science degree in that department. So we also share the degree with a master's of science in IT management and a master's of science in project management. And we see an awful lot of cross sharing among these degrees. So to get started, the analytics degree, excuse me, is 36 credits. And that doesn't include what we call the foundation course. So most people coming into our Ageno School of Business or taxation schools will end up taking a course right now. Well, they've changed the name. It's called Business 240. It's data analysis for managers. And for you, those of you who want a simpler name, it's statistics. So if you can have this waived, if you have had the equivalent instruction as an undergraduate, which usually means 2 courses in statistics. Once you finish that, you're off and running in the program. So the program consists of 18 units that are required. And then there's another set of units that you see over on the other side. And those are the electives, the ones you get to choose. So starting on the left side, Foundation of Business Analytics is truly an overview of the discipline. When you come into this course, you're going to find that you're going to hear a lot about what's going on in the business, the kinds of things you need to be able to do analytics. It talks about change management. It talks about measuring. It talks about performance. It does a lot of different things to kind of bring you together so you have kind of a capsule summary of what analytics is all about. It's not meant to teach you languages. It's not meant to teach you algorithms. It's truly an overview. One of the features of this course is a 4-week exercise at the end of the semester where you actually get to do a Harvard Business School simulation that is all about drilling down and examining data and coming up with conclusions. The second course is Enterprise Performance Management and Metrics. So if you are or have worked in business, you know that businesses manage and measure everything they manage. So what this course does is it introduces you to key performance metrics, KPIs. These are the things that are used by business managers to manage how they're doing, good and bad. And in this course, you learn about that. You learn about how to use dashboards, and you'll find out what it means to communicate to your constituency or your customers about how the business is doing. The next course has a different acronym at the beginning, ITM. This is a course called Managing Data Structures, and it's actually in the IT management program. And so any of you who are using databases at all know that your data about your company or the small business you're running, it's all stored in a database of some kind. And so managing data structures introduces you to the standard data structures that are used to manage corporate data. It's called relational databases. And they also introduce you to data structures that are not as formatted and not as commonly understood. And that includes data that is coming in on email, data that's coming in on sensors, all sorts of data that we wouldn't call standard. And that's because of something called big data, where we are collecting millions and millions and millions of pieces of data every day, and it comes in multiple formats. And this course is going to teach you what these formats look like. The next course is 305, Business Intelligence. Business intelligence uses all those databases, those relational databases, to examine what has happened in your company in the past, look at what you're doing now, and make some predictions about what's going to happen in the future. And you'll be using different kinds of tools in that class, but they're all to talk about current data, past and current data. Then you're going to go into the more advanced analytics courses. The first one is 320. It's the second statistics course called Advanced Statistics with R and Python. And if you're not familiar with those terms, R and Python are the two most commonly used languages to develop algorithms and models in the statistical world of analytics. So you will be using R and Python, and if you haven't been introduced to them, it's probably a good idea if you get the chance before you come into this program to actually go off and take some those free courses on R and Python that you can find out online, which actually gives you a basic understanding if you've never done any programming. The next course down we're going to talk about last, actually, or next to last, and that's the capstone course. So let's go over to the other side. There are 6 courses that you would need to choose out of that list there under electives. There's an AI, an artificial intelligence course on data integrity and risk mitigation. That's the idea of examining data and discovering where something may go wrong before it actually happens. So data integrity having to do with bad data being put into banking databases, for example. The next course, 321, is big data ecosystems, and that goes further into those other databases that I talked about. We call them unstructured databases, and big data ecosystems teaches you how we actually are able to process huge amounts of data on computers, and also take care of the ones that aren't in this traditional framework that we recognize. The next one is master data management. That's 322. Master data management is all about treating data as a resource or an asset in your company. So you have equipment and you have people, okay, and you have software and all sorts of good things that are considered assets of the company or things that have value. Well, data also has value. And so what this course does is it teaches you to place data in the realm of being an asset and how you should manage it. So it talks about ownership. It talks about protection of data. Okay, it talks about definitions of data. The next course is 324, and that's Web and Social Network Analytics. So any of you who've ever gone out onto Facebook and done a thumbs up on something, a like of something, you're now contributing to social network analytics, because all the data that is generated out there on those websites and also on the social networks themselves, that's data that we're now collecting in companies. People who use that a lot are people in marketing. 326 is machine learning for predictive analytics. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, AI, and this is a course that shows you how to train your computers to actually make their own predictions and collect their own data. Okay, 327 is natural language processing. This is a course that's a little bit different than the others, and it's essentially what happens when a computer tries to read text. So you've all sat and read books. If you're into historical novels or you're into mysteries, you know that the book has a plot and you get to the end and you find out what the result is. But if you were to sit and just pick words out of this language or out of this text in this book, you wouldn't figure out what's going on and be able to make interpretations. When you read a book, your head, your mind links all those words together and comes up with messages that you understand. That's what natural language processing does. Computers with software to do text analytics will actually look at a text and analyze it and make connections so that you can find more detailed information. This is used a lot in research, especially in medical research. The next course is visualization and communication. Visualization is really stressed in analytics because you may be the analyst who's gathering up all the information and wanting to present it to your customer, who then needs to turn around and use it for something. And so the visualization and communication is a way of showing you how to present the data in a format that people can understand. And the software that we use in this class is Tableau, which a lot of you may be familiar with. The next course, 329, is prescriptive analytics and optimization. So the 326 course, machine learning for predictive analytics, allows you to predict things from the data that you're collecting. Prescriptive analytics is a little bit different. It gives you choices. So think of Google Maps or Waze. If you drive and you use either one of these to figure out where you're going, when you tell the programs where you started or where you're starting and where you want to go, it maps a path for you. It actually, they both map alternate paths for you so that you can make a choice. If, especially if you're on Waze and there is an accident on a freeway, it's going to come back and give you another way to go around that accident in the freeway by maybe taking back roads. That's prescriptive analytics. It's giving you a choice of what you can do. And finally, there's a course, self-service analytics. Some of you will be working in business environments and you want to use analytics and you'll want to go buy some tools and do the analytics yourself and not go through, so the IT department, which is probably a longer process and is more involved. This course tells you how to be successful in doing self-service analytics or analytics on your own. It's a guideline of what you do to set up how you set up your department, what you do with the software you're going to bring in, and how you communicate with people, but it's more of a handbook. Okay, so that's for those of you who want to go off and do analytics on your own. So before we go to the concentrations, I want to go back to this course over here on the left, 395, the Business Analytics Capstone. A capstone course is the last course you take in a major. So our capstone course has something embedded in it the other courses or other programs at the university do not have. It has field research embedded in it. You are required to do field research to graduate with the MS in Business Analytics degree. So some of you may know that as internships. If you were coming to the university and you were in the analytics degree and there was an internship offered, you would be actually giving up 3 elective credits to take the internship. So that's one less choice you have in the electives. So we don't want to take away those choices. So we've embedded into the capstone course that you can do, that you will all do field research. If you are a student who gets an internship from somebody and it is associated with analytics, you get to do that internship as your field research. It's embedded right in this course. If you're working for a living and are in this degree program, you get to do your capstone field research in your company. You don't have to go out and find another place to do that. And then if you're not working or you don't have an experience in those areas, we're going to help you find a place that you can actually do field research. So it takes the worry off of you having spent all your time out there trying to find a place to do an internship. If you're an international student, that translates into CPT. And so this is what we do for our students. And that allows you to still take the required number of electives, which is 6. If in fact you don't want to take some of the more technical courses, the AI courses, the 307 or 326 or 329, or 321 for that purpose, you may want to do something a little bit different. Maybe you're a manager and you're going to have people working in analytics working with you, or you're going to have another department you need to interface with that's doing analytics. So we have 2 concentrations for you. Instead of taking the electives that are listed there, you'll take 6 courses in a management concentration or a marketing concentration. In this management concentration, which you see over there on the left, there are 2 courses in leadership. One is leadership and management, the other was teamwork. And there's a third course, it's Psych 345 here, but you may be familiar with it from your undergraduate days as a course in organizational behavior and development. So those are the 3 courses that are required in the management concentration. Then you get to go back and take 3 of those electives that were listed on the previous page under the analytics electives. On the other side, you've got marketing. Some folks are actually working in marketing right now or would like to focus on marketing. And so there's a marketing concentration. The courses that you have to take are Marketing 300, which is an introduction to marketing management. And the second course that you take is 324, Web and Social Network Analytics. We already talked about that. The reason that's in the marketing concentration is because Web and Social Network Analytics, especially social network analytics, is the place where most marketing is done online. Most analysis of data and such comes mostly from the social networks. So you take that course as part of your marketing concentration. And that's also the place when you're looking at data out in the social networks where you learn about sentiment analysis, why people are doing things and what they like and don't like. Okay. And then there are 4 marketing courses that you take out of a series of courses in that program. And the only one that you can't take is Marketing 398, which is actually the capstone for marketing. So in the analytics degree, you already have a capstone. So I know that's a lot to go over. A couple of things that I do want to add. Any of the software that you use in the analytics degree is free to you. The university has licenses with the vendors, or we're members of organizations where the software is available. So you don't have to worry about adding an additional expense onto your education, because all those software products are available. We use MicroStrategy, Tableau, we use R, Python, SQL, Excel. We use what's the other one that we use in 305, the business intelligence one? Oh, Power BI. I'm sorry. We use Power BI. We also use the Harvard simulation that I mentioned earlier that's used in 300, and we pay for that too. So when you're in this program, you're not worrying about scrambling around trying to find the money to buy the extra software. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the fact that we have a very strong adjunct faculty, as Sheweet mentioned, adjuncts briefly. My department has 5 full-time employees who are full-time faculty, but we also have about 35 adjuncts. And as she mentioned, these are people who are out there working in the real world. And we have multiple instances of students walking into a course at night and sitting and listening to the professor and hearing the professor tell them something that they can go back the next day to their job and apply. That happens more than you might think. So this is really a situation where you have multiple professors that you can actually network with, who can talk to you about what they do, not only teach you what they're doing in their jobs, but they can talk to you about what they do. They can introduce you to other people. So the value of our adjunct faculty can't really, I mean, I can't tell you enough how important these folks are to us. So the one more thing I should mention, by the way, and Sheweet mentioned all the way back up at the beginning, is you don't have to be a math wizard. You don't have to have lots of background in math. There are some requirements that you see when you're online. You don't have to be a statistics wizard. What you have to be is you have to be comfortable with numbers. If you are afraid of numbers, this is not the place for you to be. But if you're willing to learn to work with numbers, apply statistics, the math background that you might bring with you, then this will be a good spot for you. But just remember that if you are really uncomfortable with numbers or working with math, this would not be the right one for you. And then we could work with you to figure out what other degree would be more appropriate. Okay, thanks, Sheweet.
Thanks, Dr. Lee. All right, so let's go into sort of the social aspect. We have the Business and Data Analytics Club. And here are a few photos from some of our events. We're going to start in the top left. This is when we visited Accenture, which is on the 35th floor of the Salesforce Tower across the street from us. We were able to speak with their applied analytics department, and we're even able to put our resumes into HR to see what, for them to review it. On the top right, and we had lunch with them as well. On the top right, we have a workshop here. This is a student-led workshop within the Business and Data Analytics Club. What we usually try to do is have workshops regarding SQL or R or Python, and have them sort of follow along with the syllabus of the courses. So you can perhaps like form work groups together or study groups. And in this case, this is a SQL workshop where we have Joy, who is a former student, a graduate, I should say, leading that one. Now, bottom left, this is Golden Gate University, where we were the host for the Digital Analytics Association Symposium of, I believe that was 2018. What's awesome about this is that this event is pretty costly for those who do attend, but because it was held at Golden Gate University and we have a Business and Data Analytics Club, we were able to use our club students as volunteers. And they just sort of helped out in the beginning and at the end, but we're basically able to attend the whole conference and network with these industry professionals, which is a big deal when you're looking for a job leaving afterwards. And the bottom right is our tour of Twitch. Twitch is a gaming streaming company under Amazon. We were able to speak with the director of analytics there and also spoke with their HR team, and they reviewed everyone's resumes to let them know what they should or should not be doing and how to present themselves as the best candidate for an analytics position upon graduation. And in the center, that's us, Halloween. These are the founding members of the Business and Data Analytics Club. I am Batman in the middle. Yeah, so hopefully when we open back up, we'll be able to have more of these tours available. But since we've been closed or via Zoom, we have had amazing conversations with people at Uber and other organizations speak with the Business and Data Analytics Club. So you do still have opportunities for networking and learning about the field.
So let me add one more. Add one more thing that we're going to be doing that you don't know about yet.
Okay.
So we're working with an organization called Open Data Science Conference. It's our online data science conference. It's a worldwide organization that holds conferences around the world every year. They have an amazing platform where you can go and pick up articles and listen to speakers about the subjects that you're interested in. This year in November, they're holding their US conference in San Francisco, or actually in Burlingame down the road. And we've been working with them, and they're going to allow us to invite students who are in the analytics degree to come to the conference as volunteers. And if you, it's expensive, by the way. If you go to the conference as a student volunteer, you get to spend a day at the conference for free. And we just found out about this about a week ago. So this is going to be really awesome for anybody who wants to come into the degree. This is a chance right up front to see what it's all about. Thanks, Sheweet.
Okay, thank you. All right, and so we have career fairs as well, and we were able to hold a virtual career fair via a platform called Remo, where we had over 11 employers attend. We had Salesforce, Facebook, Genentech, as you can see here. I'm not going to go through, but we have some huge names here: Slack, Accenture. We even had an alumna who established her own coaching company come and go over resumes and LinkedIn profiles and sort of just general career questions and opportunities with our students. And there was really, really, really good feedback. This is a screenshot of the tables. As you can see, this is a table with Accenture with 2 people and the Accenture representative. Same thing here, Salesforce representative who, oh, right here, sorry. Salesforce representative who is also an alum of Golden Gate University. Is actually director of engineering at Salesforce. So we do have some great people coming over to speak with you, and people were able to make some really, really good connections, especially with Accenture. They were looking for some consultants. And this is us. So Mike Wu is here on the line. He's able to speak with you regarding enrollment or admission questions, I should say. I always get that incorrect. Sorry, Mike. This is me, Sheweet Yohannes, Assistant Dean Adjunct Professor. This is our email address. These are email addresses to contact us. And of course, Dr. Lee here, Program Director. And we are now open for any questions via the chat or verbally as we're speaking. So please, questions? There's always a good 30 seconds of silence. Okay. So no admission questions, no clarification. Oh, average acceptance rate. Mike, Dr. Lee.
Sorry, I was on mute. Average acceptance rate. Well, to start off with, if you have a 3.0, you will be accepted into the program. So that's the starting point. After that, I personally take a look at every packet that comes in, and that includes your resume. That includes your transcript, and that includes your statement of purpose. Why would you actually want to do this to get a degree? And we look at each of those. So if you have below a 3.0, we're looking more to see whether you have the opportunity to be really successful in this program. So I would say that not everybody that doesn't have a 3.0 gets in, but the closer you are to that number of 3.0, the better your chances are. We want you to be successful. We don't want to just get students in here to up the enrollment. We want you to be able to go out the other side and make yourself useful to the working world. So I hope that answers that.
Thanks, Judy. And GRE or GMAT, the GMAT can be waived, Dr. Lee, correct?
We do not require the GRE or the GMAT in this degree.
And job placement rate or outcome. Actually, job placement rate, we'd have to speak with career services. That's a great question. We do keep tabs on where they're working, and I would say the majority are working than not. But the exact rate I do not have on hand.
Maybe I can clarify that a little bit, Sheweet. when you go out at the other end of this program with your master's in science degree in hand, you're going out there as different types of people. There are people who are leaving who are already employed. For them, more than likely, this means a promotion in place in their companies. You may go out as somebody already working in industry and you're wanting to change jobs and get into another industry. That's a different kind of graduate. And then you have the graduates who are international students coming in and they would like to stay here and get jobs. And so the path for them is to be working to build their network and such and do well in school so that you will have professors who are more than happy to give you a recommendation for whatever job you're pursuing. And our career services people can also sit down with you, as I can too, to talk about what you might want to do with your resume to make it more attractive to companies. The rate for those people is very high, but as Sheweet says, I can't tell you what that is. I think since our program has been in place since 2017, I can only name out of the whole program possibly 6 folks who didn't stay within analytics when they got a job. Everybody else is gainfully employed. But you have to remember that when you're getting a job, no matter what degree it is, whether it's the analytics degree, an MBA, a psychology degree, or whatever, that you're out there and you're competing with a lot of other people. So it's up to you to make your stay here most worthwhile by doing the best that you can.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Lee. Any additional questions? Okay. Well, so we have, are the on-campus events available for online students? I assume you mean on-campus events, even though they're if they're shared via Zoom as well, correct? Everything's available for online students, even when we have events at Golden Gate University, for example, like we did have Uber a few times over. We do stream that as at the same time. So it is available via Zoom. Could you come? Okay. I just assumed you were not in the Bay Area. So you're like in Georgia someplace or something. Absolutely. You're a student no matter what. If you're online, in person, student is a student. You're able to come to all the events. Absolutely.
Right. We don't differentiate between online and face-to-face students. Everybody's a student. And when you get through your program, you're going to be mixing with the students from all the different ways to do this. You may have students that are totally online and you might get to be a friend with them, even though it's a distance. So, we don't care what part of the program you're in. We just want to make everything available to all of you.
Mm-hmm. So please join us, Lynn. All righty. Last call. All right. So once again, these are our email addresses down bottom. Feel free to contact us with any questions regarding enrollment, admission, courses, anything of the sort.
Yeah, don't be shy about contacting any of us. We love to talk about the university and the programs.
Yes. All righty. Well, it was a pleasure. I look forward to meeting everyone again, I guess in the fall or perhaps spring. And see you on the other side. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, everyone.